Okay, maybe a few small words about report, what we expect, and also about the exam. So, well, for this practical, for the report, I am the one who will grade you on the report itself. So, I mean, about this practical, so about transpiration. So what we typically expect there is the structure of a scientific paper. So introduction, material methods, results and conclusion. And it's a group work, so it's per group. So we're in 4 groups, so each group delivers a different report. Of course, you will be sharing a lot of data. In my practical, it's anyways already the case that some data are shared among or between 2 groups anyways, to some extent. Now this year that will be even more than normally, that's fine. But still it's a report individually per group. So of course you can communicate between groups to ask questions if something is not clear, that's okay. But don't literally copy-paste things from another group. I mean, you should think among yourselves as well. That's also the idea, to think within your group as well and come to solutions. And also sometimes, oh yeah, now I think about it. So sometimes people can come to kind of a bit of different answer, but if group A has answer A and group B has answer B, that doesn't mean that both are, or one is right and the other is wrong. Sometimes it's possible to answer a question in different ways. Yeah. And I was especially thinking now about the extra questions because I haven't told anything about that yet. So we have the report, and like I told, so it's with a intro, material methods, results, discussion, maybe conclusion. With also clearly your hypothesis and the answers to the hypothesis, which I told in the beginning. So this means, or the research questions, and you can formulate hypotheses about that. So I want to know what the effect of these treatments is, of these 4 treatments on transpiration, and especially also leaf level transpiration. Maybe that's important, because I told you, a larger plant, usually taller plants will transpire more. But what about leaf level transpiration? So if you would divide by the leaf area. And then also compare the 2 devices. That's also one of the challenges, or one of the things you need to discuss a bit. And also make clear that you understand how to convert the values of the parameters to values, the ones you measure with the scale, or the other way around, but how you found the link, or you made the link between those measurements. But then after the practical, I also give some, I think 3 additional questions, additional exercises. So these should be answered as well, but after the main report only. So that means in the report, so I have the structure which I just told you. Also you use references, so you refer to scientific literature, just like in scientific papers. And then after that, you have these additional exercises which you should answer. Now for these additional exercises, I don't expect a lot of explanation there, even if it's schematically, like, I ask, for example, I think effects of environmental conditions on transpiration, and multiple answers are possible here, by the way. So it's very important there that I understand the reasoning. So for instance, but if you would work with arrows, so for example, more light leads to this and leads to that and that, that's fine. You don't necessarily need to write that out, but only for the additional exercises. So the report itself has to be written out, of course. A bit like a scientific publication. Yeah, something else maybe about report. Please, if one thing is if the results, if they're not good, what you expected or something, please do not make up data. So just don't invent data. That's a very bad practice. I mean, even though it's just a practical, then where do you draw the line? Because otherwise if people start doing that as a researcher as well, of course, then we're not doing science anymore. So don't do that, obviously. And then something I noticed last year or the year before was that there were students, and in their report they I saw they didn't write this themselves. They actually copy-pasted the text from a scientific paper, but really literally. Yeah, that's of course not the idea to do that, because actually it's a form of plagiarism. So really don't do that, please. So don't literally copy-paste text from someone else, so from another group, neither from literature. Of course, you should base yourself on literature, but not copy-paste the whole paragraph, please. Yeah. Well, that's it about the report itself. So I will check that. But then there is an exam. And I think, I don't know if that's still the case, but normally you get questions about the theoretical part of the exam, but about the practical, you also get questions in January. And normally that's with Gabi, I think, Gabi Dekme, and she will ask questions about the practical, but also based on my notes. So I will have your reports, and I will take notes. Well, it will be on the computer probably. And especially she will ask questions about very basic things that I explained here, but also about things that maybe you didn't understand very well, based on the notes that I take, or I suggest additional questions. So, yeah. And normally also, yeah, now of course I guess the exam will be even online. I don't know about that. But even if it would be offline, normally what they never ask you to do, as far as I know, is to use a device and show how does it work. So that's not what they do normally. But it's just I show them to you, of course, so that you know the basic principles and have an idea of what the practical is about, and like other years as well, so that you know what you're doing. But they will normally not tell you, yeah, can you please calibrate the porometer or something. They will not ask you to perform actual measurements during the practical exam. So it's a practical exam, but it's questions about it.